Take it seated.
Evening everybody, fellow mayors, deputy mayors, councillors, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and thank you for all coming this evening. The last year has been an amazing year for me. Being elected as Mayor of Ramsgate was one of the proudest moments of my life. During my year of office, I've attended in excess of 200 engagements. I've met hundreds of people, both young and old, but the young people in our local schools in Ramsgate have filled me with a real sense of pride. They truly are our future, and we as councillors should pay more attention to them. When they contribute to local debates, they certainly ask some pretty tricky questions, I should know. When I have spoken to them about Ramsgate and the history of our town, there are a few people I do need to mention that helped me with my duties last year. I would like to thank you, Richard, and the team at the Customs Centre. Thank you. Thank you. And the next person I wish to thank has really put years of experience into this role, the Town Sergeant, Matt, who I couldn't manage without today. He's come back this year, and thank God for that. He has taught me so much. He has supported me throughout, and it's been a real pleasure having him around. I want to say thank you, Matt, for everything. It's really hard work. And finally, I have to say thank you to one person who has been on my side throughout last year, my wonderful mayoress, my soulmate, my #1 supporter, my biggest critic, but fortunately for me, my lovely wife Mandy, I could have done this without you, and I wouldn't have wanted to do it without you. So thank you for everybody. And I would say, Ramsgate Town Councillors, we are a team, so it's a wonderful to represent all you on the Ramsgate Town Council. I left school at 15. I do encourage everybody at 15, if I can do it, they can do it. I mean, my family come from farmers, smugglers, that's a shame, I love that job. Shop workers, mariners of old, their sweats in the soil of planet and their blood. St Peter's Church of Warden 1609. So I'm quite happy in my role that I'm doing today. And thank you everybody for tonight. Thank you.
The formalities of the election of mayor have already been carried out. They were done so last week in our annual general meeting of the Town Council. I have here the draft minutes of that meeting, and what I can say is that first order of business, as is always, Councillor Shonk was nominated. There were no other nominees. The proposal of Councillor Connor and seconded by Councillor Young, and it was resolved that the mayor for 2016 and 17 would be Councillor Trevor Shonk. So, without further ado, I think we move to the next order of business, which is the newly elected mayor. It says here we're to swear the mayoral oath. Doesn't that sort of language? There is no legal need for an oath, but what I'd like the mayor to do is to swear that he will uphold the laws and constitution of this country, and in doing so uphold the standing orders and rules and regulations of the Ramsgate Town Council, and to do his best by the people and the town of Ramsgate.
I'll second that. Do I need to say every word you just said?
No, you just say
That's why I follow all the laws, and it'd be a privilege too.
Thank you. It says now the Mayor announces Mayoress.
Mayoress will be Mandy Shonk. It's lovely. Right, to be calling for the nomination of the Deputy Mayor 2016-2017.
As I said before, we have already carried out the formalities as is required by the law. And number 2 on the item of the minutes is election of the Deputy Mayor for 2016-17. Councillor Larkins was nominated. There were no other candidates nominated. The proposers were Councillor Connor and Councillor Jeremy Verbrass, and it was resolved, I think it was unanimous, and therefore Councillor Larkins is yet again for this year Deputy Mayor of Ramsgate.
Really?
Again, this is just to make sure that everything is away and above board. I'm going to ask you to agree to a short oath, which is that you, as Deputy Mayor, you would agree to uphold the laws and constitutions of this country, and to do your very best to uphold the laws and the standing orders of Ramsgate Town Council, and to do your very best for the town and people of Ramsgate.
I swear to those, plus the fact I serve the Queen and Her Majesty the Queen and all her heirs and successors. Thank you. My escort for the, or rather escorts for the mayoral year of 2016-2017 are Councillor Janet Falcon and Sophia Larkins.
tonight, that will be Reverend Stuart Piper. Thank you very much. Number 10, the Mayor to confirm his chosen charities. We've had a wonderful year this year on the Mayor's charities. Not myself, I just turn up, smile, handshakes, Dave and Penny and all the people behind the scenes do that. But it's a pleasure. It was good to hand out money to young causes. But this year, the Mayor's charities can be Ramsgate Girl Guides, Pancreatic Cancer Research, which is a very good cause, and 2433 Ramsgate Manson Squadron Royal Air Force Air Cadets. So wonderful supporters of us anyway. So thanks. It could be a really hard year to try and raise money, but it starts here tonight actually.
There will be a brief intermission, and then we'll move to the next items on the business, which will be handing out the freedom of the town for the very first time, and also to present some past mayors and mayoress badges.
Please come standing.
Right.
We now move to the next part of the meeting tonight. That is to give formal resolution to authority freedom in the town. Powers of freedom in the town have only just been, and I say only just, in terms of town councils, it's a fairly recent thing. We've only had the power in the last 2 years. It's been a long fought for power, because we felt that every town should have the right to give a significant honour to those of its citizens who feels they are most worthy. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, it's been held up in the House of Lords, but a year or two ago the dam broke, and fortunately every town now has the power, and every parish council for that matter, has the power to appoint the freedom of the town or the village or wherever. The borough, the old borough, which ceased to exist in 1974, it gave out quite a number of freedoms to various people, most of them councillors. What we're trying to do here today is to not necessarily break with history in that sense, but to be inclusive in this fact that it's not necessary for councillors to be necessarily be nominated, but for people of significant action or significant capabilities who've done long and meritorious service in the community. And therefore we came to this conclusion about a year or two ago that we would start to appoint freedom of the town for certain individuals. And it's taken a while for various names to come forward, and one in particular was nominated last week and succeeded. And at the meeting last week, in order to make it absolutely lawful, it was decided that Ralph Holt would be nominated as the very first freeman of the town. Ramsgate Town Council bestow on Ralph Holt his highest honour, the freedom of the town. Mr Holt has a record of many years meritorious service to the council as a fundraiser, event organiser and a community worker, in which he has been instrumental in raising thousands of pounds for local good causes. Ralph will be the first freeman that the council has recognised and sets the standard over the coming years for those who may be appointed in future. I think Councillor Peter Campbell, who gave the nomination, would like to say a few words on behalf of Ralph.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. It'd be a great pleasure I had in proposing Ralph as Freeman of the Ramsgate Town. I would just like to outline a brief synopsis of his achievements and commitments to Ramsgate over the years. Born in 19... Ralph served as a boy entrant in the RAF and served 13 years. On his return to Ramsgate, he ran St Lawrence Scouts and then Holy Trinity Scouts for some 22 years. Serving as a youth leader, a press officer gave him the Long Service Award Medal. On leaving Scouting movement, he set up Starlight Entertainment, which he ran for over 35 years, recently retiring from that role. During his period, he gave theatre experience for all ages and raised over £250,000 for local and national charities, staging over 700 shows and events in Ramsgate and across town. Major events included Ramsgate Millennium Fireworks Spectacular, the Golden and Diamond Jubilee, also the 50th and 60th anniversaries of Atlas Britain, Dynamo and VE Day, plus the Queen Mother's 100th birthday celebration, and many, many more. He was a founder member in the team that took over this very theatre, the Granville, which raised £135,000 to take it over. He has been the town councillor and was deputy mayor for 2 years. He has served for 10 years as chair of Ramsgate and Broadstairs Sea He also runs King's Community Theatre Group, raising funds for that venue and stage shows for our town. On top of all this, he is the coordinator for the volunteers at the Ramsgate Information Centre based at the Customs House. Friends, from this potted history, I think you will agree with me that this award of the freedom of the town of Ramsgate is much deserved by Mr Ralph Holt.
I think it's been asked upon me to come up with another oath. Fortunately, thanks to Dean, we found one, and it's suitable. It comes from Shrewsbury Police, no reason why it can't be used in Ramsgate. It's very adaptable. And it goes like this: You shall be true and faithful to the Queen, her heirs and successors, and a true freeman of the town of Ramsgate. You shall be obedient to the mayor of the said town for the time being, and to all his officers. You shall be attendant and come to the said mayor so often as you shall be warned of anything touching the Queen's Majesty or the said town. You shall be fined contrary to yield and pay all such charges and contributions you taxed or assessed for the profit and worship of the said town. You shall keep watch and ward when commanded by the mayor or any justice of the peace in the said town or any of their officers for the time being after the custom and usage of the said town as it falls upon your course. You shall, to your power, uphold and keep and maintain all the franchises, liberties and privileges of the said town. You shall not do or willingly suffer to be done by anything which may turn to the disinheritance of the said town. Any manners of rent, custom and profit due to the said town under the colour of any liberty or otherwise you shall conceal, colour or withdraw. So help you God. You can understand that.
I will.
Say a few words.
I need to say a few words because it's not about one person. Freeman of the town of Ramsgate, what an honour to receive such an amazing award. Now all I have to do is to live up to it. I had the honour and the pleasure of being the town's official photographer of the Freedom of the Town, the Princess of Wales Regiment, when Charlie Gass was the Mayor of Ramsgate. He was a 5 times Mayor of Ramsgate, the longest serving mayor, equal to ABC Kent. He was also known as Charlie Gass because he worked for the Gas Board, and he also carried the name of Mr. Ramsgate. In 1992, on this very stage, I was going to honour him, and he reversed the roles, opened the curtains, and there was loads of my friends and family behind me, and he made me his new Mr. Ramsgate. And I've carried that ever since. I still carry on the name and the work of the town. The title of Freedom of the Town allowed Canterbury soldiers to march through the town with their bayonets fixed. I also had the pleasure and honour of doing the photography for RAF Manston when the Wing Commander Montgomery was presented with the Freedom of the Town by the then Mayor, Councillor John Kirby. This was on the bandstand, and I presume their honour was to fly the red arrows over Ramsgate. As for myself, I do not have a bayonet, and I don't have any aeroplanes. Is it true, question to you, that I can walk my sheep and cattle through the town? When you look at the freemen of the town, Dame Janet Stanton Wills, of Wills cigarette fame, she lived in Ramsgate, a very rich lady. She was also Mayor of Ramsgate. She bought 2 fire engines for the town fire brigade. She gave us Ramsgate's Dame Janet School. She paid for Winterstoke Gardens, which is up near George VI Park. Also, Councillor ABC Kemp, nicknamed the Mad Mayor. He was called the Mad Mayor because in 1938 he wanted to build underground shelters for a war which wasn't going to happen. Eventually he got this way, he went to the government 3 times. In 1940, in August, the first blitz in the whole world took place over Ramsgate when 500 bombs were dropped on Ramsgate in 5 minutes. Thanks to the Mad Mayor that built a 3.5 miles underground shelter, only 31 people got killed. The rest of Ramsgate was saved in his tunnels. So he wasn't such a mad mayor after all. Councillor Mayor Eddie Butcher, he was at the coronation with Her Majesty the Queen, and he was a Baron of Cinque Ports, and he did great things for Ramsgate. I haven't got many more. William Joseph Jordan, High Commissioner for New Zealand from 1936 to 1951, was Freeman of London and of Ramsgate. How can I follow that? Well, the way I see it, I've got quite a few more years of working for Ramsgate. Seriously though, what I have been involved in most of my life is working for the community, in the community, for the community, and the only way this works is with people working together. As I started this many, many years ago, it's still the same today. We all have to pull together to make the present and the future a better place to live, raising the quality of life for all of us and our thousands of visitors. Going back 2-3 decades, when we started all these events, there was a family, Trevor, Mandy, Catherine, Les Shonk, all the Shonks, we all worked together 30 years ago doing all these events. We had lots of other people as well. So I'm very pleased that you finally got your reward for all those years of work for Ramsgate. We could organise events to celebrate anything that's important in town. In recent years, the last 9 years, we've run a very special thing, Britain's Got Talent X Factor. We do our own called Make Me a Star. That's been going for 9 years. Last night, you've probably seen the BAFTAs. We do that in Thanet as well. We organise the Oscars and the BAFTAs. And we run it exactly the same as they do it on the TV. In the audience tonight, we've got some of our presenters. We've got Brenda Blethyn. And add to this my Starlight team. As Peter said, I've handed over the reins to my new team. The team includes current world dance champion, ballroom dancer Ian Sharp and Victoria Lawrence, who are also in the audience. Ireland are actually taking the helm, and they've got a fantastic team. That includes Lady Cheshire, who's also in the audience. Working together is the only way. I'm nearly there thanks to the lady that has put up with all this is my lovely wife Jean. Thank you all so much, and it's a great honour for this award, and I continue to live up to what is needed for the town. I've got a quick commercials, just to let you know that you haven't run out of things. As you know, we've done celebration street parties, all sorts of things. Thanks to Ramsgate Town Council, on the 12th of June, you don't have to go up the Mall and spend £150 for your lunch. If you've got children 5 to the age 11 and they live in Ramsgate, they're going to be free! Sponsored by Ramsgate Town Council, totally sponsored, we haven't got to find any money. The Thank Obelisk Awards, if you know anybody that does anything theatre-wise, event-wise, we want to know so we can reward them. Christmas Cracker Show goes on for the 36th year. And finally, on the 175th anniversary of the Royal Harbour of Ramsgate, the Ramsgate Events Group, we sailed into Ramsgate Harbour on a Sally line having a banquet called the Smorgasbord. At this event, I read out a letter from Her Majesty the Queen. She wrote to us and said thank you very much for organising it, and we're very pleased. What we're going to do in 5 years' time is the 200th anniversary. I'm going to invite King George VII. Think about it. He's 2 now. He's going to be 7 or 8 years old then. Please bring Mum and Dad, and we're going to have an amazing event to celebrate 200 years. Thank you very, very much for everybody, and if I've missed anybody, I do apologise. Thank you.
We now move to the final part of the meeting, and here we're recognising in meritorious service in many other ways, and in this case it's to do with some past mayor and past deputy mayors. The first one would be for the past mayor, which was the outgoing mayor of last year, 15, 16, yeah. And that's, there she is, Pat Moore. Absolutely.
I would like to say thank you for this clever will, the same way thank you. It's an honour and a privilege to be Mayor of Ramsgate, and I shall wear this with pride at every given opportunity. Right now.
And the next one will be the deputy mayors, past deputy mayors, and the current deputy mayor, Councillor Sarah Larkins, will give out those awards. And the first one is for Mary Dwyer.
I'd just like to say it was a fantastic 2 years that I spent as Deputy Mayor supporting Pat and Kim. I thoroughly enjoyed going around to several events, showing them what Ramsgate was all about and raising awareness of our great town. I'm sure the council will carry on that role and we'll raise as much money as we can for all our worthwhile causes. Thank you.
And finally, to take a wartime pun, it's that man again, Ralph Holt.
Very few, I've already said everything. Thank you all very much.
All the councillors is a team at Ramsgate. Don't forget that. It's been a pleasure. Been a pleasure. It is a team. It's been a learning curve.
He told me.
I would say thanks to everybody. It's been really down to make people work hard today. And thanks to everybody. I'm hoping that we'll have another successful year in Ramsgate. Thanks to all the people I've met, bumped into, spoken to. And there's one person, two people at the back, Arlene and Emma. Said Nick. Thanks to everybody. It's been wonderful. It's been an education tonight. It's been an education for the whole year. Thank you very much.
Hey.